Hey guys, Bitcoin Owen here. Today I'd like to talk about why Bitcoin, or how I'm going to tell you and explain how Bitcoin can save you money basically, because this is to do with energy basically. We're all complaining about the cost of energy these days. The cost of energy is taking people's breath away and taking their savings away as well. People can't dispute the price. They can't refuse to pay, because nowadays you need to have your account set up with a direct debit. They won't allow you to pay in cash for your electricity. You must have a direct debit set up, which will transfer the money directly without your involvement from the bank to the energy company. But Bitcoin saves you money basically because Bitcoin uses wasted energy basically. It's called stranded energy that's not being used by anybody. It's energy that goes to waste, surplus energy basically, stranded energy, surplus energy. And in Ireland we have an awful lot of surplus energy. Our wind generators, the wind turbines, they produce about 40% to 50% of our energy, almost half now actually. They run basically around the clock, and they produce and in off-peak times they produce the same amount of energy as they produced during peak times. It's not possible to switch them off. The cost of installing them remains the same, but we have unused stranded energy basically, particularly during off-peak hours, which is going to waste. Now Bitcoin can help here, because Bitcoin can use this stranded energy and pays for it basically using the going rate. So that subsidizes our electricity basically, the Irish people's electricity, if we were to use Bitcoin mining basically. It's Bitcoin mining, it's not Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin mining that uses the stranded energy. You switch on the Bitcoin mining machine basically when we have surplus power, and you switch it off when we don't have surplus power. You switch on, switch off like that during periods of surplus power on the grid, and in that way we can save money basically, because this energy is stranded, it's going to waste, it's surplus, and if we were to pay to use that energy, then that money could go against our bills basically, and make the energy for the rest of for all the people in Ireland cheaper. And the same applies to every other country. Every country has surplus power, but Ireland, we have some of the most expensive energy in the world basically, and it would benefit us the most to use Bitcoin miners basically during off-peak periods and during periods when there is surplus stranded energy on the grid. In poorer countries like Russia and China and Africa, places like Africa, they wouldn't have as much to benefit from using Bitcoin mining during periods of surplus energy, but they would still benefit. It would still benefit them to embark on Bitcoin mining. So basically, Bitcoin miners are there. You put in the energy, and out comes Bitcoin, and out comes heat. They produce heat as well. So we could use these miners to heat our homes as well. That would be the perfect way to do it basically. So you switch on the miners when we have surplus power, switch them off when we don't have surplus power, and you can use the miners as well to heat our homes and heat our premises, and that is how Bitcoin makes energy cheaper for the whole world, because these Bitcoin miners produce heat and they produce Bitcoin. When the miner wins a block reward, or the pool that it's a member of wins the lottery basically, to guess correctly, a lottery. It's like a lottery basically as far as I'm aware, but it also involves validating and processing the Bitcoin transactions. It's proof of work. It's called proof of work on the Bitcoin network. So that's the story anyway, guys. Be sure to think about Bitcoin mining, and the government should be in on this. The Irish government should be in on this. This is another way that Bitcoin has potential to improve our lives, basically, if we were to entertain it, basically, and to enter into Bitcoin and start using Bitcoin as our money, promote Bitcoin, make Bitcoin legal tender, allow people to pay their taxes in Bitcoin, allow people to pay their bills in Bitcoin. They made Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador, and unfortunately the IMF came along and told them to undo it, to reverse it, basically, because they wouldn't give them, they threatened to withdraw all funding from El Salvador if they didn't reverse the legal tender decision made by Nayib Bukele, the president. But anyway, that's the story for today, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bitcoin on.